would love to get to know everybody. So I want someone to pass the mic around. Your full name, name we know you as on the group, how Akure Book Club has been for you so far, and of course, what you do, just in case there's a millionaire somewhere waiting to hire you, you know. So, Peter, I think the mic is...
Am I the one still starting?
Yeah.
Hello.
First end. The mic is by your side.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Peter. I am a writer.
Thank you.
I'm an author and a literary critic and the founder of Bell. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Eritiolua Olajide, and you know me as Jelly Coco. And I'm a writer, ghostwriter actually. I'm a ghostwriter actually, and yeah, I proofread. And what else? What? Anything that brings money, legally, I do. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Deborah. I did it by Deborah. You know me as Iris. I am a writer. I write stories. I write poems. I'm a student. I don't know. I just feel like that's what's mentioning. I'm a student. Yeah, I ghostwrite. Even though I've not done that for a while, but that's me, I guess.
Hi everyone,
Hello.
my name is Daniel. I'm Dante on the group. So I'm a reader. I don't know how to write. I wish I could write actually, but I don't know how to write. So I read like a lot, and coming to Akure Book Club has been a very fulfilling experience for me. Like to be among fellow readers such as myself, like be able to rub minds together and share ideas has been something that I look forward to every month. So thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Innocent Akobue. I'm here to be on the group chats. This is my first time here. And so I'm here to observe and see how you guys do things.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Before I go to what we have next, I would love to say that Dante was on the group. We are the Dante. Nice to meet you in person.
Who's Dante?
This is Dante.
Oh, yeah, Dante.
He was our brutal judge.
Dante. Oh, yeah.
He was our brutal judge.
Dante. Who's Dante?
Yeah, this is
It was going to give me the lowest score, but it's very nice, actually.
Thank you for your criticism. It's so wonderful. So in the absence of no poetry presentation today, unfortunately, except if Her Royal Majesty has something for us, you know, our beautiful Iris. Is there anything for us? Oh, I could cry right now. But straight to open discussion. Straight to open discussion. How many of us read the book? That's like the first question. How many people read the book?
So I have a confession.
Yeah, no.
My confession is that for some reason I do not read. I don't know why. Because honestly, I have been doing a lot of reading, both academically and non-academically. Like this month alone, I've read like 3 novels complete. And I'm on my 4th one. And I have no idea why I did not. I was remembering, every time I remember, I'll be like, I've not read this book. I've not read this book. And I still do not. It's just laziness.
Oh.
I apologize.
Should we forgive her?
Please forgive me.
Are you okay with it?
It's not that she showed up. That's very impressive.
Who else has not read the book? Aside our first timer, we're going to like spare him. Did you read the book?
I did.
Dante. Okay, so we're safe. So the first question for our open discussion: should we agree that obstacles are a part of our fate and destiny and must be a criteria for success? Who's going first? Let me do the honors. His Royal Majesty.
Thank you very much. I believe that as a human being, as a Nigerian, it is imperative that you go through that shege. It's, as they call it in the anime world, it's character building. It builds character, it builds resilience. It teaches you to appreciate when you finally achieve that success. It teaches you to appreciate it more because of the things that you've been through. And I don't believe that there's anybody in this life that hasn't faced one kind of challenge or other. The degree or the magnitude might just be different, might just differ from person to person. Some might be a physical problem, some might be monetary, some might be emotional, but I believe that every single human being on this planet has faced a challenge in one form or the other. So I believe that it's essential. It's an unavoidable part of the human experience, facing challenges, that is.
Okay, so who has something to say? Jenny? Should we agree that obstacles should be a criteria for success?
Well, I'll agree because there's no other choice. Because as long as you're human, as long as you have emotions, as long as you can think, as long as you relate with people, with environments, like there will always be contradictions, something that don't align with what you want. There will always be something that don't align with what you want. So yes, you face challenges, obviously, because you are human. It's only at the point of at the point of death, yeah, at the point of death, until you die, until you are no longer in this world, that's when you have peace. Yes, there is peace in death. In a way, there's peace in death. So I think it's one of those things. And also, when you have challenges, or let's say you are chasing a particular thing, you want to, let's say, pursuing a degree. You are pursuing a degree. You see, oh, it's hard. It's something you love, actually. It's not not in the form of, okay, you are being forced to, but like you are pursuing it because you love it. Now, that pursuing it and being challenged at every point is what makes it fulfilling, actually. It's what makes it fulfilling. Like, the challenges are what makes it fulfilling. If everything is just so easy for you and, just smooth, you feel bored at some point because humans work on adrenaline, like they are motivated, they are easily motivated by things, and challenges motivate you. But then if everything goes smoothly in your life and you're just at peace, like everything is also smooth, you'll come to a point where you are just bored. You say you are bored, you want to go and you want to do something. You want to do something that you have never done before. You want to find a challenge for yourself. So yes, there's no way you can just be in this life without having an obstacle or a challenge or two. Because in a way it's fulfilling, and on the other way also it can be misery. Yes, it can be misery. And on the other side it can also be the fulfillment of the fulfilling, let's say, the sense of fulfillment for what you are going, you're pursuing. Because at that point when you achieve what you want to, like what you are pursuing, once you achieve it, you feel like you want to get onto another thing again. And then you start on that challenge. So yes,
Absolutely.
I agree.
Pass the mic to Peter.
Yeah, to build on what Jedi said, I agree with her so much. Yeah, she mentioned death. Death is is a stopping point. Yeah, in as much as we are human, there is necessary obstacle to fight, to experience along the line, to try to overcome, to baffle with. Yeah, and I don't think, to me, I don't think there's any human that particularly have a per se smooth life. Or to say, okay, ever since I was born, I haven't experienced one difficulty in one area or the other. From the point of birth till the point of death, I don't think there's anyone who hasn't been through obstacles. So, obstacle it's more like it's a necessity. Yeah, to me, I think it's a necessity. It's more like death. Death is inevitable for human. Yeah, so obstacle is a necessity to realization of success. And I don't think there's that particular person who hasn't been through hard times. The thing is that with one person, like Dante mentioned, with one person to another, it differs. Some have obstacles at an earlier age in their life, while to some it might come at a later time in their life. So the timing differs, the experiences differs. I think it's a must, actually. I think it's a must. In as much as success needs to be realized, in as much as we are all living human, yeah, like one way or the other, we get to experience obstacle along the line. It's more like it entangles with human fate. It's more like it's a path, the rugged path, the unsmooth path, the potholes along the line that you need to, fall into, try to stand up again. Yeah, to me, I think it's necessary in the point of success.
So
So it's a
would you love
yes.
to share your
It's
own
a yes.
opinion? Are obstacles, should we agree that obstacles are a criteria for success? Should we concord to the fact that yes, we have to go through obstacles and hindrances to achieve success?
Well, to me, I would say yes, because there is no how we get to where we want to be without challenges
Would you want to say
or
something?
encountering failures, because it is through our failures that we get to learn our lessons in life, and through our obstacles or challenges that we get to learn some things about life. It also teaches us how to persevere, how to endure about some things. And these are my thoughts on what she has asked. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't know if our online viewers can hear us, so if they would love to contribute. All right. Okay, so we are agreeing that we have to go through obstacles. That brings me to my next question. What do you think the society is doing to the twist of fate? Yes, we have to go through obstacles, but as Nigerians, there are obstacles we are seeing differently from the rest of the world that is making us go through our path of destiny differently. Especially in career path, right now you have to get something that gives you money ASAP. And it has made many people dish out their passion. Many people have to go in different lines to just make life suitable or even convenient to live in a way. So what do you think society is doing to the twist of fate right now? What do you think society is doing to the twist of fate? Why is it different? Definitely we all have to go through obstacles, we all have to go through challenges at some point, but it's different when the society adds up to it or when our personal life just merges things so differently. And then it feels like we are going through a different challenge than we are supposed to go through. Do you understand what I said? Or should I read this analogy, yeah? Assuming I want to be a teacher in Nigeria, I am passionate about young children, and then I find an employment in a local school to teach. But at the same time, I have to feed my family, I have to take care of myself. Let's assume that, to be very realistic, 10K per month. Now that's not going to do anything. Then I get a new job to work in a company and I'm being paid around 50,000 naira. So you know automatically I am about to ditch or discard my dreams of being a teacher to become a company worker. And that also implies that every challenge that I have to go through to become a great teacher, it is not going to happen. Instead, I am now diverting to becoming a company worker, and I'm about to take the challenges of a company worker and not for a teacher. Do you understand? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think those are external factors, like you mentioned, societal factors. What are they doing to help the faith? They're basically doing nothing. They're kind of adding more to the bitterness of it, trying to add more salt to the wound. Yeah. Um, when it comes to that, I think Nigerian particularly, citing Nigeria as an example. Now I don't want to go a bit into government stuff because I don't like talking about Nigerian government. Yeah, but looking into the Nigerian society, not much has been done in terms of putting life smoothly for people from the age of you leaving secondary school to say you want to. I mean, just look at the whole system is messed up. To me, I think the whole system is messed up. You have to leave secondary school and have to sit for JAMB and have to, write post-UTME before you get into university. And even coming in, the whole thing is more like politicized, yeah. Then even for you, some people have a tough time getting admission into university without you knowing someone, maybe a lecturer or stuff like that. So the society has done, Nigeria particularly, there's a Nigerian aspect of obstacle that every Nigerian need to go through, which is different from their own obstacle that they will experience naturally in their life. Yeah, so there's a Nigerian factor. Nigerian factor of obstacle number one, electricity. Yeah, we're trying to get someone on board, and you're like, oh yeah, the electricity in our place is very bad. For the past 3 months, we haven't had light. Wow, really? Yeah, so those are some of the obstacles we encounter, and several others. Yeah, so the society, Nigeria particularly, is playing a very terrible. Nigeria itself, I think I want to say Nigeria is an obstacle. It's going to be positive here. But then the Nigerian situation, the circumstances, the condition, it's an obstacle itself that we need to fight individually and personally. Yeah, individually and personally, and to overcome that takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of standing in the gap, a lot of decision, and yeah, several others. So yeah, it has a very crucial and saddening role. Looking into it from the Nigerian perspective, it has a saddening role to play along the path. Aside from other obstacles that might come, they're like natural, or there are like not having to deal with certain. Take for instance now, if you have a sick mother and you're taken her to the hospital, it's the sickness itself is an obstacle. Now, getting to the hospital, and there is no, take for instance, there's no electricity to attend for the doctor to attend to you, or to run some text. That is a societal obstacle, which is still contributing to the current obstacle that is going on of somebody who is sick on a sick bed. And the sickness itself is an obstacle. And now we're having another obstacle. The doctor could like, oh yeah, the bed, without medicine in our store, we have to travel to another state to go and get it. Things like that, they contribute in a very terrible manner. Yeah.
Okay, so aside the Nigerian perspective, does any other person have something to share on how the society makes the faith imbalance, or how they twist faith in itself? Okay, Dante.
I think that personally, the family, family is major part of the society. So the family that one is born into determines a whole lot, like the trajectory of your life. It determines a whole lot. Like I'm grateful to be the family I was born into. I'm grateful to be born in that family because the stories I hear about just how some people, how their parents treat them, just their parents alone, not to talk of their brothers or their sisters or their uncles, just how their father talks to their mother or just something that occurred in the house, just one occurrence, how it changed the trajectory of their life completely. Because there are some things that some people witness in their homes that we found out that was going to change their ideology on how they view life. And how you view life as a human being determines how life comes at you and how you react to those things. So I believe that the family, which is one of the first exposure of a human being to society, how you view that family and how that family views you and how the entire structure is depends, like it plays a major role on the trajectory of your life. So.
Okay, so does any other person have any? Okay, Iris wasn't clear. So we talked about obstacles, and should we agree that yes, we all have to go through hindrances or challenges to become successful? Then now we are now talking about how the society is treated and why everything is aligning in an unnatural order.
Well, excuse me. So, society, yeah. Okay, he has talked about family. Let me talk about school, yeah. uh, how do I put it? There's just, I can't find the word. A perspective that most, if not all, Nigerian schools have. And people will blame it on the government, on this, on that. People like throwing blames around anyways. It's a normal thing. Well, yeah, schools, the people in the schools, the management, the teachers, the students, all have a role to play in all these things because how do I put it? My words are failing me. I don't know.
We're here with you. We're here with you. Okay, Jenny, why she'll collate her thoughts?
All right, so I would say man generally, because man is what constitutes the society. Environment apart or all these ones, man is the main. Without people, there is no society. It's just a landscape. It's just earth without nobody. It's only earth with animals without people. So man constitutes the society, and yes, like Iris said, she said people like to throw blows around. No one likes to blame himself or herself for what is happening, but somehow we all have an influence on how the world works. Your little actions, they make up a whole lot of things, and then you hear things like, oh, is this person, is the government, is this one, in fact, is the devil. But then, can't you just think, what if the devil is a working man? Like, the devil can be right in front of you like this, and it's just covered up in flesh. Trust me, people are wicked, and at the same time, there are beautiful souls out there. So it's just a matter of intentions. If it's the devil, if you meet the devil, trust me, your life will be full of hell. Yes. And if you meet an angel, or let's say a beautiful soul, it's like, oh, you have come to a place of rest, and you'll be like, oh, I just want to have peace. You're at peace. But yes, man himself and the standards of living that a certain set of people have projected to the world. Now let's move from Nigeria. The world generally, there's a standard of living that you see in other countries that you be like, oh, we wish Nigeria can be like this. If Nigeria can be like this, do you think those people out there, they don't have obstacles they are facing too? Natural disasters, all those things, these are the things that you take for granted here. Rain is falling, you're outside. You're outside, you're walking around when there could be thunderstorms and hail and all those ones, and Yeah, you are just privileged. Well, not in all ways, but at least there's just standards of living that has been projected, and you feel like we need to have this. Trust me, the civilization of each places, of each society, because societies is also divided into societies as well. Societies make up a whole society, the world generally. The civilization of each society is different. The way, um, let's say, the way America will be, the civilization of America, you can't project it on the way Indians, like India, will be civilized, because the infrastructure, the environment, the nature itself, and the people, their culture, all these things make up a whole lot of standards that you have to follow. In Nigeria, there's a standard of living. There's a standard of living. There's a particular way you have to go to it. Now, if you're pursuing passions like um, being an artist and all, in fact, let me say it's just in the recent years that artists have been gaining, let me say, have been given fame and respect, actually. Nobody really respects you unless you are like doctor and engineers, and I mean, and something that is that looks so complicated, because people always admire what they don't know. People admire what they don't know a lot, and you place it on a certain altar, and it just becomes the standard. If it is not this, it is that, and you don't know that somehow it's shaping the lives of other people in the background, children, people, like, if we remove a whole lot of careers and all, there's just there's little left. There's little left to pursue that people will really give you that kind of accolades. Now imagine if I say I play games for a living, like I make money through games. The first thing in fact, it's not something I can say to my parents that I'm a gamer, or I do esports. Like there's that standard that no, because they also feel like, how do they want to tell their colleagues that, oh, my children, they're into this. My son is a gamer. My daughter is this one, is that one, or my daughter is a DJ. my daughter plays music at the events, clubs. No, in fact, they will not even think of events. It's club they will think of. It's just the, what's it called? There's a standard of living. There's this thing that everyone is hooked on already. Like what's it called? Dante said, he said, like, there's already a perspective that people have of life, and it is and that makes them react to what life brings to them. So there's a certain perspective the people in the society themselves have. They project it to the society in form of standards, and other people also receive it as the standard. And some people, they are unable to, because they are not people who are easily swayed by, they have their own thinking, because people get easily carried away with all these things, like, trends and all, and then you be like, oh, I need to be like this, I need to be like that. It's one of the reasons why some people go through what's it called, body modifications and all, just because it's not the standard of the society, and they want to conform to the standards of the society. It's just one of the reasons. But well, yes, it's just in the end, everything comes to man. Man can be devil, and man can be angel. Yes.
That is lovely, but I want to ask you something now about trends. You do know that as we move along with these standards, we have to factor in everything that we do. So I can't be working towards being a model and not want to gym. And at the same time, there are social media standards for gymming. If you want a particular part to be big or to be small, and all of that. And aside social media and ugly trends, there are still some technological advancements that has to be factored into whatever we do if we want to achieve what we want to achieve. And these things also bring obstacles. So how then do we go about that?
Whatever is worth doing is worth doing. Is it right? I don't know. I don't know how they say it.
Yeah.
Whatever is worth doing is worth doing right. Is worth doing good. If you say you want to pursue something, you should know what you are going into. You should know that these are the things that you would possibly need to do, need to face. Yes, and there will be trends. There will be trends. There will be a lot of things, challenges, and you just have to. And somewhere, one way or the other, even if you don't want to confront it, you have to confront it because you need a sustainable living. Aside, maybe it's something you love, you need a sustainable living. If you want to live well in this world, in this society, you have to, you have to follow trends at a certain time. It's not like all trends are bad. It's just, the ugly side of social media is not always, the ugly side of social media is not always, people are not always conscious of it. They just go through whatever. Like it's more about being swayed. There is a difference between knowing what you want. You understand that what you are saying on this particular trend, you know that it's going to help you in a way. In you, like, it's going to help what you are doing. That is why you are doing it, not because people are doing it and I just want to be. I don't want to look like I'm the loser among the big people. Wow. I don't want to look like the loser. So it's more about being swayed. Like many people, their minds are not. Should I say? Okay, let me say they are not very conscious of what they think and what they do. Like they just act. They don't think about the consequences and all. They just do it. They just do it. So trends, it's okay if you follow trends. Just you know what you are doing. You don't get carried away because in the end when it falls on you, when the storm comes falling on you, it's still the same media that are going to throw you, and a lot of people they have become nobody because of the same media. They have become nobody because of the same trends, and you just have to know what you're doing. Be conscious of yourself, regardless of, yes, I need to make a sustainable living. Yes, I need to do this to earn money and maybe in the end follow my passion. But just be conscious of what you are doing. Exactly.
Okay, let's pass the mic to Innocent. You start this question. You're going to start this question. So, how do we help people who are running around obstacles? They don't seem to evolve, neither do they seem to come out. Two things that I believe that obstacles will do for you is, number one, it's going to shape you. Number two is it is going to bring you out of a particular perspective. So it is either you are getting better or you are getting a complete turnaround. So how do you now help someone that is not coming out at all? They are just round this, like from one to the other, and it just keeps going. How do you help them this time around?
If I'm to get your question, are you asking how you maybe get a friend out of his or her comfort zone?
Obstacles could be comfort zones, but generally, extra obstacles could be maybe trying to pursue a career path that it is not clicking, but they just want to become nurse. If it is not nurse, they know what to do. So how do you help these persons come out from obstacles? Generally speaking, it could be anything.
Okay. Well, to me, I would say to convince or persuade someone could be very hard. But although to me, if let's say for example, if you're a friend to me, because I know if someone is not my friend, I know the kind of persuasion, like that energy you put in when someone is your friend and someone is not your friend, you get. So if the person is my friend, I'll try and make the person to see, okay, why not try this? Since this is not working, why not try this and see how it turns out to be? At least from that, if the person will know, okay, be like, okay, and see how things could turn out to be. That's trying other things to see how you can work around things. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Dante, please. So how do you help someone who seems to be revolving around obstacles and not growing out or coming out of it?
Firstly, I'll first ask the person to take a holistic approach to look at everything as a whole. Like, is this something that you truly believe that you can do? Like, do you have the ability to truly see this task to the end? Like, for example, now, okay, let me take my sister for example. She's an arts person. And now she comes up to me that, Daniel, I want to do industrial mathematics. I look at her like, girl, are you out of your mind? You can't do mathematics. What do you mean you want to do industrial mathematics? You're an arts person. Like, you know the extent of your abilities. Like, why are you reaching out for something that is out of your grasp? Like, you first sit the person down and give the person a reality check. But if after that reality check, the person still believes, and you also believe that the person has the ability, he has the character to see this thing through to the end, then you start to look at the person's strengths. I'll tell the person to play to his strengths, like things that are his weaknesses, I'll ask him to work on it, to improve himself. There are things that I believe that is difficult for him to do. I'll ask him to put more effort into those things and see where it leads to in the end.
Okay, before you say something, let's add a reality check to this. So, assuming you have a friend who has emotional grief or guilt, particularly guilt, they probably did something before, and because of that, they are not doing a particular thing, and that has, confined them to a particular school of thought. How do you now help this person? Because it's an obstacle on its own. It's just like someone who once got bitten by a dog and then gets a contract to do something on dogs, and they have the ability to do it. But they won't want to do it because of PTSD. Now, how do you help this person to come out of revolving emotional guilt or grief? Just add everything together.
That's a very deep subject. Like, personally, guilt is not something that you can just wake up one morning and decide to drop it by the side. It has built over years and it has cemented in that person's heart. So it's not something that that will be easily broken. But if it were me, if I were to find myself in that kind of situation, what can I do? What can I do? The best thing I would do is just to get to that person and make him see the good things in that thing that he's so afraid of. I know it can be hard at the beginning, but the only reasonable explanation I can think of, or the reasonable solution I can think of, is to introduce the person slowly back into that thing. The person got to see the bad side of that thing, but you make the person see, because there are always two sides to something. You make the person see the good side to it. And it's not, you don't have to be sudden about it. You don't have to make it jump at the person. Like, you just introduce, okay, you say the person got bit by a dog. Then if it was a big dog, like the Rottweilers and the aggressive types, introduce the person to the smaller breeds. Like the Chihuahuas and whatnot. Introduce the person to the smaller breeds, the Chihuahuas and whatnot. Make them see how cute they are, how friendly they are. And
But Chihuahuas are not friendly.
no, Chihuahuas are actually motherfuckers. They are bitches. So those ones are, they are like the demons of the dog. They are demons of the dog kind. But there are other dog breeds like that. I'm just using that as an example. But what I'm trying to say is that you introduce the person to the good part of something. Like, for example, I don't know if this subject is too sensitive to talk about, like someone that got sexually assaulted. Like, there was this series, the girl got assaulted on the bus, and since then, she would rather trek 5 kilometers than for her to enter any bus of any kind. Bus, trains, cars, public transportation in general. But her friends, the thing that her friend did for her, at first, all of them, when she stops at the bus stop, then when the bus comes to pick her up, then she just said she's not in tune again. So her friends noticed that she has been trekking to and fro from school, like it's a very far distance. So what they started doing is all of them gathered together. They didn't first they didn't make it look like they were trying to help her. They just came as friends that, okay, let's work together. All 5 of them, they started trekking the distance to school, like all week, first week, second week, third week. Then the 4th week, or like thereabouts, they asked her that, okay, let's take the bus together. The girl was like, no, that she can't take the bus. She was like, all of them told her that we're with you, that nothing can happen to you. They didn't make reference to the original incident, not to like make her feel like a victim or like they're trying to be her savior or whatever. Like just play it in a natural way. So eventually, all of them started taking the bus together. Then one by one, they started not withdrawing per se, but from 4 people with her taking the bus, then dropped to 3 people, then 2 people, then 1 person. Then before that, before she knew it, she had built that confidence to be able to take the bus by herself. And eventually, she was able to break free from that cycle. So I believe that gradual approach to that kind of situation and not make the person feel more of a victim and feel more of that guilt. Like you don't have to rub it in the person's face that the person is a victim and all that, and make the person feel more guilt. So I just believe in a gradual approach and make the person see the good side of the thing that they hate so much or they fear so much. So that's my 2 cents.
Alright.
So yeah, as he said, it should be if you're trying to help someone with guilt or grief or PTSD, it has to be a gradual process, not something that you just rush them into. But apart from that, you have to understand where that person is coming from. You have to understand the fear or the pain or the guilt. You have to be empathetic, not sympathetic. A lot of people don't like being pitied. A lot of people don't know that sympathy is different from empathy. You mix it up. But now, you have to understand where that person is coming from. I've heard a quote once that says, do not mock a pain you haven't felt. If you don't know how something feels like, you should not feel like you are, how do I put it, qualified to speak on that matter, on that issue. And helping people like that, it's a gradual process. But now, coming back to people that want to do things like just want to be a nurse, they don't know why. It's just nurse. Not that they particularly want to do it or they love it, but they just want to do it. Now, he said something about people having an extent of abilities. Nobody has an extent of abilities. Anybody can do what they put their mind to. People are not born with an ingrained amount of talents or amount of things they could do. People are born with the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn, right? So anybody can do what they set their mind to. But with people that don't know why they want to do something, or they feel like they have to do it because of parents or because of that's what the society feels is right, like this is the job that brings the most money or something like that. You just have to help them see that. You have to help them try to understand it. Things like that come from a place of chaos. They don't understand themselves and they feel like, let me just go with the flow. Let me just follow what people are doing and all of that. And you have to help them, show them that think of this thing you want to do. And think of other things. There are things that you would do, you would love, and the result is the same. Like you probably get the same amount or more doing this thing that you love, rather than doing this thing for, oh, my dead grandmother said I should do this thing, or my father wants me to be a lawyer, or something like that. And you have to make people understand that at the end of the day, your life is yours. Not your parents, not your grandparents, not your friends, and not anybody else in the society. You have to want what you want. You have to know what you want and not what other people want you to be. Because at the end of the day, if you live your life for others, you are going to regret it. There is no how. Because at the end of the day, you will not find peace And I personally am big on peace. In my life, anybody asks me what I want to do, I may not have an answer. What I know is I want peace. I don't want I don't want to be thinking all the time. I want peace from the family I would have, from the work I would do, from anything. I just want peace. And we need to we need to help people understand that you can be what you want to be, what you love to be, without being held accountable to other people's opinions, because everybody will always have an opinion, right? And the way you think of yourself is not the way other people think of you. I also saw something that says each and every human being you've ever met has a different perspective of you. So even in this life, there's not just one you, because people have, if you've met a million people, then all those million people plus you, that's a million and one. That's a million and one perspectives of you. So at the end of the day, don't let yourself be held to other people's opinions of you.
That's beautiful. That's excellent. You have something to say.
Can you go back on the question again?
Okay, so the question is, how do you help people who are evolving in obstacles? They don't seem to evolve or come out of it. So how do you help them? And then we added a twist of when it happens to be obstacles of emotional grief or guilt.
Okay. Usually, these kind of obstacles are of the mind, because the mind, usually, I feel like the mind has more control over the body, because what you have, like your mind, it affects even your feelings, like physically, it affects it. Like you could be thinking about something, and that feeling of, let's say, maybe, yeah, guilt, as you said, guilt, grief, just it washes over you. Just thinking of it alone, it's a matter of the mind, and the mind is what should I say? The mind is like a snail, yes, or let's say a turtle or tortoise, anyone. It has a shell, and it can come out at will, and it can retract at will once it senses something. The mind is sensitive to things, and even subconsciously it takes a lot of things, and it does not know, and somehow in the background it processes, and then those kind of things make up how you feel. So helping people with emotional, let's say, trauma, generally helping people with emotional trauma is it's best, like Mary said. He said, just be empathetic. Don't pity them, because most people don't need your pity. In fact, I personally, I don't like to be pitied if something happens to me. If you know, you just, okay, oh, that's so sad. All right, thank you. Not, oh, you get extra overly, yeah, like it's your matter, bro. Rest, because I don't need that pity. I need a way out, not pity, because pity will not take you anywhere. And for the mind, you talk, actually, because I feel like these things need to be said. Like, things need to be said. They need to be. I feel like I think that's why the what's it called, therapy is always usually an option, to go to therapist and all, because somehow they manage to bring out what you are feeling inside, even though it causes a what's it called, a rebound, or I don't know, the yeah, a relapse, even though it causes a relapse, but somehow it could ease your mind. It can ease your mind if you talk about it. It can ease your mind if you talk about it. So somehow get them to talk about it, because I mean, something you can't even brush on. How exactly do you want to treat it? Yeah, like, try to talk about it in a way. It doesn't have to be like, boom, oh, let's that incident and blah 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 blah. It could be gradual, as I said, it could be gradual, a gradual process of, but it does not have to be defined explicitly, but you talk about it one way or the other because you need to get it off your mind. Your mind needs to, it needs to come out of its shell. Yes, it needs to come out of its shell. So get them to talk about it, not in a what's it called? Not in a forceful way, and not in a way that you would you make them feel like you are pitying them, or like, in fact, there are sometimes that these things, you don't even have to give a particular solution. Just talk to them. Just talk. Like, just talking alone can relieve a lot of stress. Take for example a husband coming home. You talk to your wife. There are some, like, just talk. Just talk. Then you talk about, okay, this is what I went through, and this is how I feel right now, and this one, and you just talk, and okay, that's so done, and that's so somehow, like, there's a relief that washes over you. Just saying it out. Or there are also extreme traumas that are like, some, in fact, there are some kind of traumas that they don't, it's as if they are empty. Like, in fact, they don't even know, let's say they don't even know what's going on. It's like physically, if you see them physically, it's like they're just, there's no soul inside of them. They're just there. Like, okay, how do you bring them back? That one, well, I will leave those extreme traumas for the psychologist and all. I don't have much knowledge about, but usually just talk. I like talking to let me not say people generally, but like, if we have an issue, we can sit down and talk it out, and don't try to argue with them as well, because they are the one involved in it. Don't try to argue with them. Never you try to argue with them, because come on, you are not involved, or even if you are a part of the matter, you are not them. You are not what they feel. You don't have the same mind that they do, because the way they see that thing, the way they felt at that point, you did not feel it, even though both of you were involved in the matter. So the fact that you try to address the issue does not mean you should argue. You should argue it. Don't never argue it with them. Just talk. You could talk about life generally, and somehow just advance to that point, but never argue with them. And don't try to, like, pity or give up that pitiful stuff, or don't. Yeah, that's just it.
Thank you so much. So we are heading straight to, sorry, we can't take another opinion, but we are heading straight to the book review. And I think aside Iris, and we're sparing our first timer, we all read the book, Whose Fault, Kismet, or Impediment. So what do you have to say about the book? A brief review of what our beautiful Peter wrote, Peter Okonkwo, what he wrote. Review. Let's go. What do you think about the book? Criticism, words of accolades. Yeah, let's have it. Who's going first?
Okay. I'll go first. So, first of all, your use of words were just I had to be opening dictionary. I was seeing ignominy. I don't know, ignominy. I don't know. I had to keep checking. I carried a dictionary too, and I was checking for the words. But well, and even in fact the title itself, Kismet, Impediment, I had to check for it until then. So when I checked for the meaning, it all made sense. It made sense. It made sense, and I would say, aside the big vocabulary, no, it was not extreme. It was, I would say, if I was like a particularly, yeah, I'm an English person in a way, but most of my vocabulary, my words, I picked it up from books I've read, and the books I've read, they don't use such. So I guess it's not what I was used to, but yes, it was. Let me say, eye-opening, because, well, I opened my dictionary for the first time in months. Yes, and also reading through the books, I think from the first chapter also, um, questioning why obstacles, like why do we have to face obstacles, and moving to how intercessing for, yeah, that particular one, intercession, like for your friend who is in who is hooked in a circle of obstacles, and I think I feel like that's where you got
Yeah,
the question
absolutely.
from. I feel like that's where you got that question from. Like they're just moving around that obstacle. They're not evolving. So yes, and I would like to say something about the what's it called, the God matter there. So I don't think I think obstacles come as a result of people generally. No, I wouldn't say from God. When they say, I don't know, but I mean from what I've learned, from what I've read, from what I understand, from because I'm a Christian. From what I understand, I don't think God tests your faith. Actually, it is the devil that tests your faith. It's the devil that tests you, that tempts you, that tempts you. It's the devil that tempts you, that tests your faith. Actually, God does not test your faith. It's the devil that tempts it. But it seems as though it's God so that He can do something for you. God is not a conditional person. God does not give you something based on a condition. You have to do something before He gives you something. Even salvation, you did not have to do something righteous in particular before He gave you salvation. It was just a matter of grace. It was His intention that He gave you. He lets you be like Him. So I wouldn't say in that God matter. I wouldn't say it's God that tests the faith of men. It's just the devil, and well, like I said, the devil can be a working man. So we can't say devil. Sometimes it's not even spiritual. Let's leave the spiritual aside for now. It's not usually spiritual. It's man. It's the spirit in man, because every man has a spirit, of course, and the spirit of a man is also, let me say, is also related to his mind, and whatever a man thinks, he will definitely act on one way or the other, even though it's not obvious. Whatever he thinks about, he will act on it one way or the other. So obstacles is not of God. It's just how life is. That's why I said there's a certain peace in death. Until you are not in this mortal body, I don't think you can have peace, silence. There's chaos everywhere. Like even in yourself, even when everywhere seems peaceful at this point, in your mind it could be a battlefield, like war against war. No, I think I've heard songs and people talking generally and be like, oh, the devil in me, demons, they have demons, there are demons coming back. It's mind, the matter of the mind, demons, all these things. You can't say it's hallucination. You can't say, I would not say hallucination, because saying it's an hallucination is like, just canceling everything they know. It's like canceling on everything in, like, just waving it off like, oh, you don't know what you are saying, because it's as if you are mad. Yes, but it's a matter of the mind, and well, what else again? Let me see. Yes, um, obstacles generally, it's something that you face one way or the other. So yes, through the help of God, and well, helping ourselves as well, because there's a limit to what God can do if you are not involved in it. God will not just come down from heaven and come and perform magic. Even when God came as a man, He still came through a woman. God needs the participation of man to do whatever He can do in your life. So now, if you are bringing the God matter into it, you said you say you need God's intervention. Your cry, your tears actually does not move God. Yes, it does not move God. It's you need to pray. You pray about it. I think it's the only thing. It's what God understands. You pray about it. You talk to him in prayers. It's the way you communicate to him. That's how you get through to God, not your tears, not anything. If tears could move God, the devil would cry a river and he would be saved. He would be saved, he would be redeemed by now, and well, maybe all of this would not, but well,
Yeah.
that's it. Your tears does not move God. You can keep, in fact, you can be your own obstacle. You can be your own obstacle. You can be the obstruction towards whatever glory you are looking to. Like you are looking towards. You can be the same. You can be the same obstacle. Um, I think I had this verse that there's this the one who stands in infinite glory is you, and the one who is currently falling from grace is still you. So in the end, it's still a matter of you. The obstacle you face, it could be from yourself, it could be from external factors. But first, work on yourself. If you work on yourself, external factors, well, somehow they would, maybe the universe would work hand in hand, and somehow it could make sense. But the God factor, me, I'm big on that. The God factor, pray. Don't just wallow in misery and write, because, well, I mean, that's what I do. Because that's what I do usually. Just write it out. Oh, I'm miserable. I know. I just my pages of books are full of blood, sweat, and tears. Yes. See, in fact, don't pray. Actually, if you really want God to intervene, just pray. Talk to Him. It's not just writing and keeping. Especially for writers. Yes. Don't just wallow in your misery. The pages of your book. See, let me tell you, one thing misery loves more than company is you dedicating a page full of blood and sweat and tears to it. Trust me, you just keep writing and cursing and burning, and in the end there's nothing left than just ashes of
Sorry,
you.
sorry.
So
Just
yes.
something that piqued my interest. So are you now saying that we should not journal?
No, I'm not saying you should not journal, but don't like don't feel like, oh, okay. You said something. You said you were writing to God that yeah, I'm picking that particular point that it's not just about writing. I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
maybe God will receive your letters, your cry for yourself or for this particular person you're interceding for, but there's more to communicating with God than just having it in your heart. I mean, yes, God knows that, yes, this is what you are going through. God knows this is what you are going through, but you still have to talk about it in the place of prayer. And about writing, of course, you can still write. I still write actually. I mean, I write my pains, I write everything in my journal. Yes, it's never the only solution. It's never the only solution. There's never only one solution to a problem, because even problems come from different problems coming together to become one. Just so obstacles are necessary. There are extreme and there are degrees of obstacle, like I said, there are degrees of it to everyone. But well, good luck to everyone on whatever they are facing. I mean, whatever we are facing, even in this country, even as a person, yes, even in your career and passion, just keep up the good work. Yes, keep up the good work, and
Peter
you'll be
should be
fine.
blushing by now. Okay, Dante, what do you think about the book? How was it? What stood out for you? Criticism and accolades.
Um, it was a very good book. I started reading it, I think, 3 days ago. I've been wanting to read it since, but I just kept postponing for no reason whatsoever. But I started reading it 2 days ago, and the first thing that struck out to me was how personal the book was, and how it was able to articulate these feelings that I'm sure that every one of us must have felt at one time or the other. It it was really, really able to articulate it very well. Like, these are the things that we, as human beings, as Nigerians, as people, as men and women, as that what we feel, like the reasons, the thoughts we have when things are not going according to our plan. The book was able to make it real, articulate it, and make it physical for us to see that this is what you're feeling. This is the emotions that are going through your head right now. So, and I really like that about that. For the first few, is it chapters or acts, like the first few poems in the book, it was about the main character, like calling the main character, that was complaining about why he has to go through problems. And at first, I was sympathizing with him, or empathizing rather. They say we should not sympathize again. I was empathizing with him initially, but it got to a part. I was like, brother, chill now. You're not the only one. Like the sorrow was just so deep to the extent that like, this guy will not kill himself. Like the sorrow was just so real. Like, it sounds funny, but it's not. Like, it was a genuine and sincere cry for help. And I couldn't help but wonder, like, is this guy safe? Is this guy okay? I was scared for him, like, pull yourself together, like, it's not that deep. It's that deep, oh, but please keep it together. Like, you are losing it. You're on the verge. You're on the cliff. You're about to fall. Like, guy, pull yourself together. But I think after that, immediately I got that thought. Then I thought the next page, and it was like another person, another character entirely now, chastising the first person, that exactly what I was thinking in the first place, that it's not that deep. Like, you're not the only one. Like, yes, you're going to challenges, but so does everybody else. Like, your own case is not particularly special. Like, yes, some people may face more challenges than others, but you're the only one that still try to keep it together. Then next chapter, a man went back to the status quo. The sorrow just kept going on and on and on and on. Then the friend of the main character came in and was genuinely concerned for his friend, and he was interceding on his behalf, and that part felt so touching to me. Like, no matter what you are going through, like, there are some people that have your back. That no matter what you take to them, even if you didn't mention it, there are some people that can see what you are going through, and even if they didn't say it explicitly, or some might do, but they have your back in all situations, and there are some people that are really looking out for you. And eventually, the story did. Oh, it went on to, like, what was it again? Like, it went on to. It works. No, it's not. Okay, the other one is working. So it still went on to, like, then the main character himself started to, like, pray. He started to feel hope. Like, he was feeling hope, like, maybe due to the prayers of his friend, he was feeling hope, and he was interceding on his own behalf, and that optimism was starting to come back. And eventually he was talking about suicide and all that. I was like, this guy is off the deep end. I'm genuinely concerned for this guy, but the hope started coming in, and it was a very fulfilling experience, that from someone to be able to pull himself from that deep end through the sorrow and the disappointment and the impediments and everything, for someone to be able to pull himself from that kind of deep place, like from the bottom of the sea to the top of the mountain. Like, it was a very beautiful thing to watch, and I believe that everybody, even if no matter what we are going through, like, eventually, with the help of people and with our own inputs, no matter what we're going through, we're able to scale through. So that's basically.
Thank you. So I think it is my turn. I've not even shared anything today. But the book, seriously, Peter did a really great job. He did a really, really great job. I think one thing I would love to note, I think some parts of should I say a few lines were used in the beginning. That was very catchy. It was very, very captivating for me. It was very captivating. What stood out for me would be the tears of an impeded lad. If you read through, you see that Peter didn't miss Bible classes at all. He didn't. For instance, how long shall I remain steadfast under trials? You will find that in Psalms. You told me to count it all joy whenever I fall into diverse temptations. You find that in Philippians. So I'm like, okay, this person went to church, yeah. Jesus is evidence. Okay, that's beautiful. And I would say that the articulation of each, he was able to carry his emotions throughout each poem. It was very personal, very relatable too. You know, there are some poems you read and then you just see it from the writer's angle, like it's just what the person feels. But this time we are able to understand it in our own perspective and see there were places where they were I think oh my hand has closed it. That would be under something about time. He who waits an hour, who doesn't wait an hour would wait forever. Something around that line. Peter is blushing. Okay, so something around that line, and then there were questions. How do you endure pain? How do you have the patience when obstacles visit? And that was very unique because it gives you that, okay, let me just take a chill pill. This is not a book you should actually rush. I won't like you can't rush this book. You have to take time to digest it because it's not just about reading what someone wrote, but reading what the person feels in your own feelings. So it's actually very, very, very unique. I would say that he did a really good job. There are a few errors. I think that would be corrected. But the one I fell in love the most would be this last one, Muse. About journaling. I like to sit in a place all alone with my head. That is me. Like I just want to sit down. Nothing really. Imagine life. I think in my head I've created a lot of award-winning Oscar movies.
Oh my days.
A few Grammys, and I'm like, if I had to project this in the nearest future, I should get a Grammy. And really, that is so. Muse is actually a very beautiful, relatable poem. And the only issue I have is this picture at the back of the book. If they
That was like 4 years ago.
and yeah, that's just my take. And there are some kind of, I wouldn't say they are like, I think maybe proverbs or idioms in the book that you will find, and it just feels like this is an old person speaking. It will make you feel like Peter is like 70 years old or something. But this is a beautiful book, and I think it is still something I would love to. I didn't finish it. I just, when I saw something catchy, I went straight to it. Exams, all in my head is like mRNA and DNA. But this is something I would definitely have in my read list and absolutely recommend. So please help us drop review on the Goodreads. Please help us drop review. Yeah, that absolutely. And with that, I'd love to say thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, that's Q&A, but they gave us 5 minutes already.
It's a quick question. So, apart from Nigeria, what inspired the book?
Yeah.
I purposely put the apart from Nigeria.
Apart from Nigeria, what inspired the book? Well, the things I've seen around me, personal obstacles I've been through, some crazy experience. I love the fact that Jedi mentioned that human has a role to play either negatively or positively in the life of another man. Yeah, I can be a very good person to you and also be a very bad person to someone else. Yeah, so the circle of we trying to transfer aggressiveness or negativity from one person to another too. Yeah, so obstacles particularly. Yeah, because I've very much been through good numbers in the past. Yeah, it's an old book though, but sometimes when I go back to it, I'm like, oh, that's very sad, like you mentioned. And I don't think I can write like that currently, but I'm happy I did wrote a book like this. Sometimes when I go to like, that's very, very sad. Like, really? Do you really write that? I can't believe I did that, yeah.
You know, immediately I came in, after he came, I asked him, were you suicidal at some point in your life? We needed to ask that.
That's not even too sad. It's Fate. Fate the Dungeon. That's the most saddest I've ever written.
Oh my goodness.
This came after Fate. Fate was the second. This is the third. So most people consider this a follow-up to the Fate book. Yeah. So yeah. But I hope I answered the question.
Yes, I think saying this now, I forgot. Why is the publisher's this is not on the? On
No,
those
it's
parts?
self-published. It's
Oh,
self-published.
it's okay, that justifies it then. Thank you. So thank you everybody for coming. Now, I hope we brought our bellies ready. So thank you everybody for coming. Now, I hope we brought our bellies